There are things no one tells you when you become a dementia caregiver. Not the doctors, not the pamphlets. You learn them alone. In the middle of an argument, in the quiet after you lose your patient, and in the guilt that follows. Today, I want to share the lessons caregivers almost always learn the hard way, so you don't have to carry that burden unnecessarily. Hi, for those of you who are new here, my name is Dr. Sinclair. I'm a neuropsychologist, dementia care specialist, and founder of the Confident Caregiver Academy. Let's jump on in. Hard lesson number 1, trying harder often makes things worse. Caregivers are some of the hardest working people I know. When behaviors escalate with dementia, your instinct is to explain more, to correct more, to reason more. If you do this, Dad, then this will happen. You hold the line harder, you put your foot down. But here's the painful truth most caregivers learn too late. Those exact strategies fall flat because they rely on the part of the brain that dementia often weakens first, the frontal lobe. In fact, dementia often affects a few key systems care partners that directly shape what you're experiencing. The frontal lobes, which manage reasoning, ability to think clearly, manages impulse control and flexibility. The hippocampus and temporal lobes, which support memory, communication, and meaning. The amygdala, the brain's alarm system, which is in overdrive because of dementia and constantly scanning for fear and threat. So in summary, care partners, as dementia progresses, the thinking and communicating parts of the brain weaken while the emotional alarm system stays strong and in overdrive. Lesson number 2, your best communication skills may backfire. Another painful lesson, the communication skills that made you a successful partner, parent, professional can actively sabotage you in dementia care. Why? Because dementia flips the amygdala on its head. What once felt like guidance from you now feels suspicious. What once felt like support can now feel like you're trying to control. The amygdala doesn't analyze for your well-intentions, it scans for problems. And so when you rush or push, even gently, your person with dementia, their brain is going to register it as a threat. And oftentimes you're left so confused. I'm just trying to help them. Why can't they see that? Because their amygdala is in overdrive. That's why they can't see that. If this is resonating, care partners, if you're thinking, wow, someone is explaining this to me in a way that I can understand, then please pause for a moment and take a second to like and subscribe to this channel. It tells YouTube that this is helpful to caregivers and it sends it off to other care partners struggling just like you. Let's get to the third lesson care partners often learn the hard way. Lesson number 3, you can use calm words and still escalate the situation. This one hits hard for a lot of caregivers because you really try to use the right words and to follow all the advice, and you still watch as things explode. That pattern happens for a lot of reasons, but the primary one is nervous systems talk to each other faster than verbal language, and especially with dementia. Your loved one's brain is constantly scanning your face, your posture, your pace for tension. If you are dysregulated inside, even quietly, their amygdala is going to pick it up. This is why emotional regulation, care partners, is not optional in dementia care. It's foundational. At this point is when care partners often think, okay, I've got to hold it together. I've got to be perfect. No, what you actually need is regulation skills, recovery plans, and permission to be human. This isn't solely about being calmer, care partner. It's about having a full system and feeling supported, which is exactly why I created the Confident Caregiver Academy program. I saw care partners flailing and needing this level of guidance. For those of you who are interested, go ahead and look at the link below. Hard lesson number 4, dementia behaviors are communication even when they make no sense. Another lesson caregivers learn too late, your person with dementia's behavior is replacing the verbal language they're losing. Their refusal, their yelling, their repetition, their wandering, these are now messages to you and could mean anything from I'm scared to I'm overwhelmed to I don't understand what's happening to ouch, I'm in pain, my body's hurting, and I don't know how to communicate that. So when caregivers are taught to stop these behaviors instead of decoding them, you can imagine everyone loses. Hard lesson number 5, you cannot care your way out of burnout. This may be the hardest lesson of all care partners. You cannot love, sacrifice, or push your way out of burnout. Caregiver burnout isn't weakness, it's also neurological. It's what happens when a nervous system stays in survival mode for too long, and dementia caregiving keeps you in that survival mode. If no one helps you regulate, problem solve, and learn ways to find help, your body will eventually force you to stop. That's not a good place to be in for you or your person with dementia. And finally, hard lesson number 6, waiting makes everything harder. This one is the quietest and the most dangerous. Care partners wait to get supported, to get training, to ask for help, to change their approach because they secretly think, I should know how to do this. But dementia doesn't pause while you wait, care partner. The caregivers who struggle the most are the ones who are unsupported. I want you to hear this clearly, care partner. If you're learning the hard way, it's because no one trained you. Caregiving is not intuitive, it's a skill set. If you want help learning these skills before the next crisis, you can learn more about my Confident Caregiver Academy in the description below. No pressure, just guidance. Even if you don't learn from me, care partners, I want you to get the guidance from your Office of the Aging. I want for you to reach out to a psychologist or clergy, but you will need this. I hope today's video was helpful in illuminating for you all of the hard lessons that care partners have learned so that you don't have to follow suit. I'll see you in the next one.